Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I know it's late, but what has to be said have to be said because I know my people are weak. It was at this time, especially the diasporans, because we don't seem to know what to expect from the Nigerian police force, the Agberos, and the ballot box snatchers, and the electoral, you know, Yahoo Yahoo, and whatever you call them, electoral gangsters and fraudsters who represent mainly the political elite in Nigeria. So it's not a guess saying that most Nigerian politicians are really corrupt, deeply, very, very corrupt. So I know right now, as we speak, some are still sleeping at the shrine, hoping that the Babalawo will turn things around for them in their favor. While some are battling with all kinds of blood, only God knows what. Some are smearing themselves with some fish, and all kinds of physics and things like that. So it's unimaginable to actually think what Nigerian politicians can do for power. And at the same time, even when they get the power, they seem not to know what to do with it because they get so consumed by the power itself. So may God not let those kind of people ever smell the seat of authority over the land anymore. So all of you who agree with me should say amen to that. Because like I always said, the kind of government you get determines the kind of quality of life and services you get. So if you get a blind man to lead you, definitely you know what that will is, that you are going to fall into a pit with that same blind man. It's not his fault, it's because he can't see. So, but you who have eyes to see, why should you follow someone else that is blind to lead you into a pit? Except you too, you are blind. So if you are blind, then I won't blame you. It's because you don't know any better. But for those who are not blind, they shouldn't allow a blind person to lead them into a pit. Because one philosopher once said, the worst thing an intelligent man can do is not to participate in an election. Because if you don't, then you'll be led by an inferior. According to him, that was in his word. He said an inferior. That means you'll be led by someone who is not qualified for that position. So likewise, so many Nigerians are doing right now. Then they will say, "Oh, don't mind them because whether we vote or not, they've already had their votes. They've already cast their votes. They already know who's going to win and whatever." So people do speculate on things like that. So, but I tend to try to see what they are what they are driving at. So but in this case, if we start to assume on everything, then definitely we will not move forward. So I think it's time to take the battle, you know, to the war front and not to sit back and start to run commentary. So I'm I'm so sorry that the diaspora cannot vote for now. But the only thing we can do is talk and try to, you know, motivate those able-bodied men and women, whether in their mind or in their heart or in their body, soul, and spirit, to go out there and vote. Don't sit back or don't accept their little tokens, to buy your future and the future of your children and children's children to be. You understand what I'm trying to say? Because when they give you a bag of rice or a bag of indomie and what have you, which is an insult on its own, how long are you going to eat that? Then for the next 4 years, what will you be doing? Those potholes that litters all around your neighborhood, and all these light shortages of light and water and things like that you are saying that you have taken for granted, thinking that it's normal. They are actually not normal. Under a sane society, a local government should be able to take care of things, little things like that. So it's not all about the federal. It's from the top to the bottom, or from the bottom to the top. So what I'm trying to say here is that everyone have to play their own part, and then go out and do what they have to do to make sure that the winners of the elections are not shortchanged. So just briefly, he said 700 Nigerian permanent voters card found with foreigners. Immigration service shut borders. They only shut the borders after millions of people must have trooped in, or 500,000 people from Niger, and the other ones from Cameroon, etc. Why the southern borders are closed? That's always been the case. They close Benin border because they are scared that what they are doing in the north is what is going to happen from the south. So, but who will I blame for that? Will I be blaming the northerners only? Sometimes I have to blame the southern politicians as well, because they are also cooperating with these old people to do what they do. So it was learned that the foreigners were also in possession of national identification cards. I guarantee you, so many Nigerians, real Nigerians, don't even have that ID card, but yet foreigners do have it. How come? So a lot of things are happening, and these are not nothing new. So it was learned that the foreigners were also in possession of national ID card. So the Controller General of Jigawa State, Jigawa State Command, or the NIS, confirmed this in a statement on Friday, signed by his public relations officer. You see, all of their men there are northerners. You can see them, you know. Ahmad Daura or Dauda Bagari, the controller of Jigawa State Command of the NIS, confirmed this in a statement on Friday, signed by his public relations officer, Nura Usman Ibrahim. This is good, but at the end of the day, when you still come back to the south again, then who is still at the border in Diruku? Then check out the name. You'll be surprised that it's still one of those people. So I don't know what the so-called political elites who tend to have gone to school in the south are doing. So because while we are saying this, we are talking about this lack of balance, in the equation of things. Because if there's no balance, definitely these things will continue to happen. So then before we forget, the NSA protesters hold candlelight rally, to honor victims of the police brutality. So let's not forget that people lost their lives in Lagos State at the Lekki toll gate, simply because they were asking for the better condition, from the government, and for the government to stop the police brutality and disband the Sars brutal police. That is the police unit that was so brutal at the time, or still is. So but these people just lost their lives like that. So but it's good for us to refresh our memory because without a bad government, things like that wouldn't have happened. So if we think again and do the right thing, then definitely we'll be stopping things like this from happening in the near future. So let me take you back a bit. These are really human beings, not just some posters. Some people might be thinking. These are children born of women, of men, brothers, sisters, cousins, nephews, husbands, uncles, whatever, nephews, brothers. Haja haja.
Victor Madumago, this for Chi Ordinoa. Stephen Agayan, this for Tony Oluama. Iyamu Kazim, this for Musab Samani. Colonel Johnson, this for Odobo Matthew. Chinedu Andi, this for Precious Odua. Ikwetu Daniel, this for Rich.
So, my people, please vote wisely this time and vote well. Protect your votes and make sure your vote counts. Although we know they have a plan, to try to, upturn the whole thing, whether positively or negatively, as whatever the case may be. We have to also stand up and be counted. Enough of standing on the fence or the fences. Let our voice be heard and let our actions speak louder than words. Vote your conscience, vote wisely. And Nigeria win. Because at the end of the day, if Nigeria win, then we all be better off for it. So I wish you a very good election day or electioneering day. And for those who are plotting to commit harm to their fellow Nigerians simply because they are supporting a politician, in whatever party that might be, I will ask you to have a rethink. Have a rethink. Because it's just money that you are promised or that you've been offered. That once you deliver your unit, that they are coming to give you a certain amount of money that's making your head to swell. And I guess this night you are not sleeping even. So you are pumping yourself with all kinds of stimulants to knock your head and knock your brain to get you numb to the extent that tomorrow you will be thinking like a human being, you'll be functioning like a robot. But don't forget, as soon as these politicians get what they want from you, that's the end of you. They just give you some papers, call money. It might not even be according to the agreement that you have with them. So, but at the end of the day, you will live with it, with that guilt, with that crime. If you have blood stains in your hand, then that blood stains will continue from your lineage to your lineage. So remember that. So it's not too late for you to draw back and do the right thing. You can still be right there where the actions are, but at the end of the day, you won't allow things like that to take place. Rather, you be there to stop things from getting worse and saying no at the last minute. You can still do that. So take care, share our videos, like and subscribe. And for those who have subscribed already, I thank you and I thank you immensely. God bless you. God bless you all.